Okay, so the whole idea of this is to create some of these classes here and interfaces. As we're doing this, we'll be talking about inheritance. So the first thing is, let's create this iCalculate, which is an interface. So I'll go back here to the same project that we were in before. Let me go back to Java perspective because I was still in debug perspective. I'll double click here. Let me save this. Notice that the star here indicates that I'm not saved. So let's save it there. Let's create a new class here. Data types. These data types are for human resource. Human resource. And I'll call this what did I call it here? iCalculate. Let's click on finish. I actually wanted this to be an interface, so I made a mistake there. So if you just change this to the keyword interface, it will become an interface now. Now in this example, I want to return a map. We just talked about hash map. The difference between a map and a hash map is that this is the parent of a hash map. Okay, so let's return a string. And for now, we'll return a float. And we'll call this get weekly salary. And that will take in a float of hourly wage and a float of hours worked. Oh, you know what? This is an interface, and this just describes how the method looks in this case. This is complaining because you need to do an import. Make sure you're importing from Java util map. Let's save it, and that looks fine. So the next thing I'll do is let's create a person. Okay, so I'll double click here. I'll right click, say new class again. Make sure you're in that same package. Let's call it union employee. That union employee will have an interface. I'll say add here and say iCalculate. Okay, there. Let's click on finish. And what it will do now is it'll create the union employee, have an interface, iCalculate. It forces me to use this method here. I'll just delete it just to show you something. If I delete that, notice that this is complaining. It's telling me that because I'm using this interface, I have to implement this method. I have to create this method. That's the rule. And that's the reason you use an interface. One of the reasons that somebody's provided you a rule to follow. That way you follow that standard. So if I go back here and I say add unimplemented method, this will create it for me. Now my goal is to actually fill in the blanks and make this actually work now. Okay, so right now this returns nothing. In the next class, we'll create a driver. We'll finish this also, and we'll create a driver for it. Okay, with that, good luck and good coding.